Yeah. So yeah, we are here to have a kind of the last feedback in a way about this course. Some kind of
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to, uh you talked about the after part of something, and this feels like the after part, the finishing part of, taking something up and moving through it, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
So I was curious about what what made you say yes to this course?
Yeah.
Where come from this impulse to do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it hadn't really occurred to me that much. I mean, all along I wished I had could take some kind of a course in non-duality that would include, you know, basic things and going all the way further into the unknown. But I didn't really research it very much, honestly, but I felt like I could really use that because I was going to different groups, and even in, a group that I studied with a bit, it was not really not organized, it wasn't spoken of not easily, clearly, in a way that I could understand.
Mm,
And so I saw you online, a group meeting, and I liked I resonated right away with your perspective when you would comment about something. I mean, right away I could tell that felt really right for me. And I got very curious about if you did other things, I didn't know. So then you had a website, and I saw that you had a course. And I thought, well, isn't that it's amazing because that's really what I was looking for. So by the time and then we set up a time to talk, and just talking to you, for me it was a clear um opening to do this.
mm.
There wasn't really much of a hesitation at all. It was more finding something that would move through these areas of non-duality that I only got glimpses of or information about piece by piece, either online or in a book. Like it didn't make any it's hard to talk about. So it's very hard to understand it if it's not kind of organized in a way. You know what I mean? So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so that's what drew me to it. It was a resonance, and then the needing and wanting of that in my heart somehow, and then just seeing that you had that available for 4 months, I would thought my good fortune, that I could find this class that is actually answering some of the things that I've been looking forward to, just the basics of non-duality. So I was glad to find it.
So what I'm hearing it's the difference with what you were in contact with or engaged with was the that the information was structured in a way that makes sense for you and that it
Yeah.
resonates with the way um, you interpret reality.
Ye Yes, that's right. It included and was, it sounded like, as again, just before, like it would, yeah, it felt like it was resonant with what I felt ready for, and could, bring in, could assimilate and could understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And is there a specific part of the course or a specific moment that impacted you during those 4 months
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
after?
I mean, I would say I think there were a lot of things that impacted me, and then afterwards, so I'm in terms of the course itself, I would say I really enjoyed the inclusion that you had of somatic work into, the understanding of emotion. I think that's missing somehow in other teachings a lot, but impactful. It was impactful for me to learn about how thoughts, the basics of thoughts, but then understanding and going deeper, deeper into how that impacts reality in such a deep way. So you'd start very so I the way the course was laid out, included, the basics and then moving to more and more things that are difficult to sort of talk about, but are important. And the other thing that it's sort of the process that you use too, not only the content. And then the way that you used, a way of exploring something and applying whatever the thing was that you were talking about, and then the experiential piece. That was different from other courses that I'd ever taken, and it was, very helpful in filling in the gaps of questions that you might have about something. And then if I still had questions, what was helpful was that I could ask a question. I could email you. I could, um, you know, find out the answer if I was really curious about something and didn't understand something. So all of that, I think, made it a very different kind of class and made it very impactful. Um, and the other part that I think is important to say is that I feel like, the message that you come through with was, beyond the words that you used. So, yes, it was the content, but for me, it was really I guess it was kind of like a transmission that came through. And what happened for me was that got me as a remembering of what's really true here, what I am, I guess I could say. And that came through the teaching, not only the content, but through the words, beyond the words, I would say. Yeah. So that was very impactful for me. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And was there a specific moment or a specific shift or realization that you are willing to share, or that you remember about this topic,
Yeah.
that is remembering that you talk about, or some?
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I would say for me, it's the deepening of peace. Um, and it's kind of like like a steady area, a steady place of relaxation that's with me now.
Mhm,
There were there were it was coming forward before the class, but I feel like through the class and now is steady.
mhm,
It's just an inner peace. It's a place of settling, and it's something that you brought in to the to each class also, or you pointed to it, or you know. So, but anyway, I feel like that part was very, very impactful and has stayed with me and is pretty steady, really now.
mm,
Um, I think that I've adopted an even slower pace in my life than I had before. So, because I think that there was a big emphasis on, I mean, first of all, I think that you is the word emulate that? You show that part. Also, that's how you are a bit. You're and so and also then how you emphasized um uh, uh, and honored, I guess, the present moment of the being sensitive to what's right here. And I think that promoted in me a slower pace of being, whether I'm alone or whether I'm doing a task. I think that has stayed with me, that slower pace, and really looking at something more deeply than I had been before class. Um, I also think there was a type of maturation that took hold for me,
yeah.
where I think I'm valuing my own wisdom more. Um, I think there was an emphasis in the class of honoring our own wisdom and our own, um, what's true for us always would be pointed back to that, always. And that over time, when you have a 4-month class, that part of became part of my process. And now I think I doubt less. I think I still have doubt, but it's not like it was, where I dismiss having an insight. I don't. I say, no, this is what's happening here. So I think the class really helped. It's just I think the period of time is important to bring all this forward and see, yeah, to take in the information, but also to feel into the information as well. Probably, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah,
So those are
it's,
just some things. Go ahead.
it's connected to this transmission that you talk about, right? This unspeakable transmission that happened, this
Mm.
mysterious communication.
Yes, I think that's really very true. I think that's a good portion of the class is that too. And as a bonus, you get sort of a foundational understanding of non-duality.
Yeah, yeah. And did you had some challenge or some yeah, some part that were that you discover that were unfamiliar, that were not, yeah, that were new to you?
Y-
Oh,
yeah, I mean, there was new. I mean, to understand more about what supposedly a deeper reality is a surprise to a lot of people. I mean, it's different to hear about that. Um, I would say it's also, and you emphasize this, but I think is how paradoxical everything is. I mean, I feel like I'm still, there's an integration of just accepting that things are
mm,
opposite at times, and And although I knew that intellectually before the class, no, I really got to see how it is paradoxical. Um, the reality that I thought I was living in and a deeper reality. And so I think it wasn't uncomfortable. It was just, I think, not confusion even. I can't even, I guess, no words for that. When they meet, the paradox, I don't know, it's not quite surprise. It's just, what? You know? So, I think that would be
mm.
what I would say about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this to meet this paradox with more openness, maybe, and more and uh,
Yeah.
and a happy surprise, maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
and what would you say to someone who is considering this course but is not sure about what it is, or what can they can really get from it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it depends on what they really want, right? So they're coming forward. What is it that what are they really wanting? Because I feel like I benefited from, as I said, knowing the foundations, the basics of non-duality, moving it all the way into the unknown, and all the ways that that can be understood, including specific things from your life. So it's very practical. So, I mean, to me, that's a class. So it depends on what more they want from that. I wouldn't know, but I would say the fact that you can take the initial understanding of your understanding, your message around thought, and make it simple enough for someone to understand, but then move into more complex areas. I think it's explained very well. So many people, could take this class, even if they'd probably want to know a little bit about non-duality, but really, I think that it can be explained very well in this class. So it depends on where they are and what they really want. But yeah, I guess that's what I would say.
Okay. And how would you describe uh, the course in one or two sentences?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I would say it was for me a 4-month journey into the basics of non-duality and explained very clearly. Um, And I think especially powerful were the experiential practices, which brought the material to life, inside, internally for me, and then applied to life in the world that we live in. So I found it covered all the areas that I felt that are important for me to understand it, and it felt very complete for me. I mean, there's a lot in what you say and the material that could go much deeper too. You could talk about certain things, certainly, but I think what you covered was just the right amount of material for someone taking that period of time with you. So,
Well, I'm very happy that you felt that that it's a very practical course. That it's not only a theory, which
right.
often we can get lost very easily into thought and concepts. But at some point, for a concept to mean something, y- it has to have a direct impact on your experience, a direct knowing. I'm very happy that it works. I mean, for
Yes.
you at least, that
Yeah.
you kind of felt it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what made it, I think, different than, other classes I've taken is because the experiential piece was brought in. Yes, you would explain things. Yes, there were, right, but there were talks and there were and then specific things on the during the week videos that we did that were experiential that brought me right into the whatever it was that you were trying to explore and explain, and we did it for ourselves and then could come back and then give feedback about how that was for us. So it really allowed that material to go deeply in me. And, you can take this class. I mean, for me, I had some time, so I took time with it. But you could take it and do other things, but, so you can go through it at any pace you have to, whatever is necessary. But you could also take time with it. So there was the option of how deeply you wanted to go into it as well. So, but yeah, the experiential piece was a major reason I liked it. So,
Thank you for sharing.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
i- is there anything else that you want to share or express
Mhm.
this colleague to you?
Yeah. I think I'm just really glad that you're putting your message out and your perspective on in teaching non-duality. I think you bring in, as I said, the sensitivity component of um, reality and working with um, because there's different things you can focus on with non-duality, and I think you try to bring in as many things as you can to help explain it. But emotions come up, people, and we still have to work with it, even though it may not be the final destination of our reality, right? So, but you bring it in a very sensitive way that most people that I've seen don't know about or don't know how to work with themselves very well with. And that's not a major part of the course. It's a section of it that's important for people to know how to work with things that are difficult that they're going through, even though they might know that technically that's not true. You know, I'm a nothing or whatever. It's like they need to work with those parts,
Yeah,
and you allow that, you invite that, you show how to. And I think I don't know, I don't see it that much. So I'm glad that you bring that perspective along with the other things. And
yeah,
I'm encouraged by hearing you present that to people.
yeah. Well, you are right. This is one aspect that give me the impulse to build this course and to start teaching. It's uh, I'm I'm seeing a lot of teachings that are used as a negation of part of our experience, which emotion is one of them, and it creates very strange effect when you try to
Yeah.
negate part of your experience. And then you said that the reality is one. That's where kind of confusion and suffering reach another level of complexity.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, it's beautiful that you could see it and that it is useful for you, and it was useful for you, and this is uh, the gift that hearing your experience and how it was supportive for you. It's really a gift for me. So thank you very
Mm.
much
Yeah.
for sharing your journey,
Mm.
sharing what you went through.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Mhm.